Good morning, guys. Welcome back. My name's Sandy. This is Sawing with Sandy. I'm out here in beautiful central Ontario, Canada, right in the middle of my red pine plantation, where, as you can see, I've got my sawmill. Now, I'm going to show you something dealing with the sawmill today that many of you, if you do saw, are well aware of. What that is the never-ending waste wood. This stuff right here on the ground. I call this waste wood or slab wood or offcuts. This stuff tends to pile up and get in the way. It has to be dealt with, because if you don't deal with it, well, it takes your time away from doing what you want to do, and that's actually making lumber. I don't like to do this. In this case, I just threw the wood straight off the sawmill right onto the ground, and I tell myself over and over, yeah, you'll deal with it another day. The truth is that day will come, but it may not come for quite some time, and in the meantime, this gets in the way. Now, this isn't much. Trust me, this is not much. I've had before where that pile is like 6 feet high and it's like 20 feet long or 30 feet long, and well, that's accumulated over a period of time of me telling myself I would get to it. I'm not going to do that anymore. I came up with an idea that has taken me years to come up with that I think is going to make my life and maybe your life a little bit easier. Before we get to that idea, let's head on back where my sawmill is. And let's point to this. You see that right there? For those of you who've been on the channel for a while, you know what that is. That used to be my waste wood slab rack. I used to take my waste wood, which is now on the ground up there, I used to take it off the sawmill and throw it into that rack. Well, that worked out quite well for a number of years, and what ended up happening, I bumped it one time with the tractor trying to move it, and that's what you see, disrepair. Today, I'm going to make something, and it's not going to be a ton of work. That's why I think anyone could do this. It's not going to be a ton of work, but this thing I'm about to make will replace that, won't involve much building, and it'll give us a spot to put all of our slab or our waste wood whenever we're sawing. Come on out front here. Probably don't want to stand here too long. Have a look at that snowpack on top of the roof. When that lets go, yikes. That's what ends up happening. Check out the roof here. It let go recently off this roof, and it basically made a 4 or 5 foot mound there. I'd imagine if I stand here too long, the thunder would crash down on me, and I'm referring to that snow. Okay, here's what we're doing. You guys recognize these? This right here is the HM 130 Max sawmill crate. This is what that sawmill came in. This right here is a 2017 HM 130 crate. This is what my old sawmill came in. I'm going to take these today, and very simply, using one of these grinder, I'm going to make that into a slab wood rack or a slab wood holder. I don't know why I didn't think of this years ago. I was out here cutting the other day, and these were just over there in the snow, and I looked at them and I thought to myself, gee, those can just sit out in the snow. They don't rot. They're not going to get too damaged if you bump them with a machine. That's the solution. Check it out. Okay, so what we're doing is I'm going to take the angle grinder and I'm going to cut off all these horizontal pieces, the light material here, and I'm going to leave the uprights as well as the bigger material down along the bottom. If you can imagine, that will now leave me with a spot I can throw the slab wood, and then if I ever need to move it, I can easily slide in here with my forks and my tractor, pick the wood off the steel rack, or if I want to move the whole thing, because this is off the ground already, I could slide my forks in there and move the whole works. And because I've got 2 of these, well, I can essentially have double the amount of slab wood stored before I have to process it. If I want to process it, just like I used to do with my broken slab rack, I could fire up the chainsaw and I could cut to whatever sizes I needed. I think this is a great solution. It's not going to break on me. It's not going to deteriorate. And so I should have thought of this years ago. Let's fire up the generator. And I borrowed my dad's here today. So the Honda 2000, this thing is awesome. I'm going to fire this thing up here. We'll get the angle grinder going and we'll zip those off. And probably in a matter of 10 minutes, we'll have a solution to that age-old question. What am I going to do with my slab wood? Here we go. So overall, although it took a number of years for me to come up with this idea, the main thing is I came up with it eventually. And well, my wood rack back there can sit back there and go back to nature, decompose that is. This right here, I think it'll be staying around. I'll just have to position it so it's best suited for me to throw the slab wood right off the sawmill into it. And then I can see what I'm going to do with it, whether I pick up the whole unit underneath the steel rack, dump it out somewhere, or whether I cut it up right in the rack for firewood. Time will tell. Guys, I appreciate you joining me on this beautiful afternoon here in Central Ontario. Do yourself a favor, get outside, take a deep breath. If you can do a bit of sawmilling, maybe some chainsawing, all the better. In the meantime, give her the old like-a-roo. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.